This
One
conference
second.
will now be recorded.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming on the call as usual. I greatly appreciate it. And it's always the same thing. I'm extremely grateful and thankful for everybody that comes on the call. It does my heart good to see, week after week, 35 weeks, I think in total so far, of people that have come on the call and have listened, and I believe, because you all keep on coming back on the call, are gaining great value from being on the call. So thank you for doing so. It means a lot to me. As you all know, so this call series that we're doing is all about moving mountains. So obstacles that are in front of us, we are learning and training ourselves to push those obstacles out of the way. So we're literally step by step, learning to get out of our own way to become more of what we want to become. And as we all know, there's no magic to any of it. It's literally looking at your scenario and then subsequently moving forward in whatever it is that you want to do to better yourself, whatever it is that you want to do to change your existence, to make yourself better, to make more money, to become a better person, whatever it is that is your obstacle, that is your mountain. Our whole objective is to retrain ourselves, because as we know, we have been trained a certain way. We all have been loaded down with so much bullshit that literally is stifling us. And so it is important that we take responsibility for ourselves and start changing our mental environment, changing our thought process, as it were. That is everything. That is literally everything. Is changing our mental environment, changing who we are from the inside out. So today, there was two people. There was a young lady that wanted to come on, not to just give a little short story. She was going to come on and give a few minutes because she was just afraid to do so. I only wanted to give her a few minutes because that's what she felt comfortable with. But she owns she has a business which is a lash bar, right? Which I guess is a big thing. I'm not into that type of thing, but and she was gonna, spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes, talking about her business development. But our primary speaker today is a young lady that I personally, Pascal Dominique Mansell, believes is like freaking brilliant. I have seen her go from have ups and downs like we all do, right? But I've seen her when she puts her mind to something, do extraordinary things. And so we call her Kay, but her name is Ronke or Adelanke, but we're gonna call her Kay. She likes to shorten it because it's easier for people. But so are you on the phone, Kay? I know you are.
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. I can hear you very well. And so what she is going to talk about today is her journey and her experience in building very profitable online stores, right? But in particular, dealing with eBay, Amazon, and Groupon, right? So those have been the arenas that she's done very well in, and so I don't want to, take up too much of your time, but I just want everyone to know that I personally believe that you're freaking brilliant, you're awesome, and I love how you're able, and I'm not to take anything away from you, but I'm gonna say this. You know what I really have noticed in my dealings? I was talking to my wife about it this morning, and that out of all the people over the decades that I've dealt with, the people that seem to do the best are the women that I deal with. So like the men that I deal with, I mean, some of them are pretty, they're about their business, right? But what I've noticed over the decades is that the women that seem to stick to something and just, beast it out seem to be the women. And it seems to be the women that, in all aspects, right? So all different, whether I'm doing business with them as a business partner, teammate, or I've trained them in some fashion or form, and they just grasp it and then they run forward with it. And so what what I'm finding is that you women, out there, right, and on the call and just in life, are really freaking powerful. I was about to say the fuck word, but I'm trying to refrain from cussing so much on these calls. But it's really something to me, because when you think about it, how women, it has been like stated over and over and over and over throughout the formative years, grade school and what have you. Young girls are so much smarter than young boys. They develop faster mentally and otherwise. And what ends up happening is that there's a divergence, right? There's a separation. As young girls get older, then they are taught to, run away from being aggressive or math and science and all this other stuff, and like the whole aggression thing, when a man does it and is about his business, is looked upon as being like some freaking awesome thing. It's like, oh, well, Billy over there, he's just a badass. He's making it happen. But if a woman does it, she's looked at as being a bitch. And that's just, this society is really askew. It's just cockeyed, because when we teach our young women to, be less than, right, to be, I see Dr. B just came on the phone. Dr. Barber, how are you doing this morning? But getting back to my thing, when I see that divergence, right, so when young women are taught all these, things like home economics and all this other stuff, and then in the latter parts of their life, when they want to be entrepreneurial or whatever, and if they're too strong, then they're looked at negatively, as I just mentioned, called a bitch and all this other stuff. Oh man, she's just a bitch. But if a guy does it, he's looked at as this person that, he's just a badass businessman. And it's crazy, right? So I just want to really get to the point of this whole thing, where I'm telling you, the women over the decades, not just like in some short period of time, over the decades, the women that I have worked with, either as entrepreneurs or in some other fashion or form, they are so much stronger than we men. And they, you women, have a tendency of being better at business, quite honestly. And I'm not being pandering here. I'm just saying, like, out of all the people I deal with, even in my own circle, the people that, when it comes to business, that are closest to me are the women, because they are more freaking reliable. How crazy is that, right? But you hear all this, you would think it would be the absolute opposite of that, because men are promoted so much more than women are. And it's ass backwards. So part of this whole Moving Mountain series is to learn to become a contrarian, right? To learn to think contrary to the pack, contrary to what everybody else is out there doing. So and that's important. and it's also part of getting out of our own way, as we've talked about, through this series that we're going through, is that these mountains, these self-imposed mountains that we've placed in front of us, is literally because of our thought process, literally because of our training, that we're so screwed up, and we have to get out of that. And that's why, we, 2 weeks ago, Dr. Barbara was on. Last week it was Denise. This week it's Kay. And the reason, it's not because it's just, I'm specifically going out and finding, women to talk. It's because these are the individuals that I'm most impressed by, right? People that I find that have like this ability to do business and do it well, to thrive, where I find, we men, we're able to do business and thrive, but it's different. And it's different in the sense that, in this society, right, in the societal structure that we exist in, men tend to be able to do business because it's just, we're given certain things, we're for lack of a better way of saying it, the doors are open for us a little bit more, or a lot more, quite frankly, than it is for women in the business world, for all the reasons I mentioned earlier. So, once again, it's all about having to become a contrarian, acting and moving contrary to what we've been trained and what we think, and all this other BS that's been put upon us. And so that's something I just wanted to really put out there. So, anyways, without further ado, everybody, this is Carrie. We've been knowing one another for a while. We've done business for a while. Now let her tell her story, and I'll stop running my mouth, as you all know I do very well. So, good morning, Carrie, and go ahead and tell us about yourself and your course and path.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Kay Jackson, and thank you all for having me today. This is actually my first time speaking to a group, so bear with me. I'm just here to really share my story with everyone and just kind of let you know where I came from and how far I've gotten so far with selling online. So let's start from the beginning. I am from England, and I was actually in college when I first decided to test the waters with online selling. And I think one of the reasons why I did it was because I was stuck in a 9-to-5. It wasn't working with my college schedule. A lot of my classes were in the evening, and I wanted to switch them to the daytime. And it was just kind of a struggle, as you know, like when you're a student, you have to take care of room and boarding and food, and it gets a little tough at times. So I guess I just needed a source of income that would work more with my schedule. So I decided to I guess dabble a bit with in eBay a little bit and just kind of try to figure that out. And it did take me years. It took me years to really perfect it, and that's kind of what I want to save you all the hassle of having to do, is kind of figuring out how to master selling online. And I had started with a website, and it was a website called Trade Tang, and it kind of got my attention because on Trade Tang, and I don't think this website still exists, it was a website full of products that I knew that people needed and that people, in my world were using. And they were being sold for a fraction of the price that I need them to be sold online or, in stores. So I guess that kind of sparked my interest, and I kind of got into it from there, and then started buying and selling and testing it out. And at first I wasn't doing, amazingly well, but as time went on, like I said, I got better. I relocated to the US and in 2008, and then I had my first child in 2010. Now, when I had my daughter, I think that's when I decided that, it was something that I wanted to take more seriously. Um, Unfortunately, I wasn't able to work in the country, so I had to find different avenues of income. Um, I had friends who were working, and they were working 9 to 5, and they were unhappy where they were, and they weren't making enough to really get by. And so I, said, hey, there was this thing you used to do when you were in college, and the earnings weren't that great because you never really took the time to master it, but you know, let's master it. So I kind of buckled down mainly for the sake of my child. Um, since my partner at the time wasn't working and he wasn't very helpful, I had to kind of take things on myself and become the primary breadwinner, which I was very proud of because being in a country that I wasn't from, being in a country that I wasn't, really allowed to work in at the time, I managed to earn somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 per week in a very short space of time. I believe it took me about 6 weeks to get to that point where I was steadily earning that amount. And it was a lot of research. It was a lot of research. It was a lot of time spent up late at night, speaking with the suppliers in China and trying to piece everything together and make it perfect. And my drive was my child. Eventually, I had a second child, and he and I at the time were living with my family, and we ended up moving into a place of our own. And I had to, of course, come up with a plan as to how we were going to afford that place. And so I had to not only sell on eBay, but make a decision to start selling on other websites. So as you know, like there are so many different places that you can sell. There's Amazon, there's eBay, there's Groupon. There was iOffer at the time and Zulily. So I kind of expanded a little bit. I came up with a plan and I expanded. So I decided, okay, eBay wasn't enough. I needed to earn more money. So I expanded, and then at the time I started earning, I think, somewhere around 4,000 a week. So I got into that point, and that was, a pretty good time for me. Most of my sales were on eBay. Now, what ended up happening was, it's a curveball. When you sell on eBay, sometimes, you run into issues, and I ran into an issue with PayPal. And I lost my business, my eBay business, which was, of course, my primary source of income. And we lost everything, and I lost my confidence. And it took me a while to build up to the point where I felt okay with getting back on eBay again, because, like I said, PayPal had pulled the rug right out from under me. I had to go back to the drawing board, and I had to figure myself out for a while, decide how I wanted to do this and how I was going to make sure that I was never in that position again. And I came up with techniques, so to speak, different techniques and ways of avoiding that happening in the future. And so what I want to do is, with the class that I'm teaching, is I don't want that to happen to you. So I want to teach how you can cut out all the mess that I had to go through, and you can start out on top from the beginning. Right now, I'm happy to say that I'm earning somewhere around 17 to 19,000 per month, and I sell on 3 different platforms, which is eBay, Amazon, and Groupon. My income is ever increasing, and my family and I we're in a much better place, and I just like to be able to share with you my tactics, my techniques, and how to find the right products, and how to speak with the suppliers, and do your listings and walk you through step by step, and just be a coach and be the coach that you need. So, anyone that wants to learn, I'm happy to teach.
So if you would go ahead and tell us, give us the, because oh, by the way, she was kind enough to put together a little ebook, and anybody who wants that ebook, I will give it to you guys for free. So, but if you would go over the tactics on that you put in that ebook for the people, I would appreciate you doing that. Just go ahead and just tell them, just give them the goods.
Okay, so I basically I put together an ebook, and the ebook basically explains how you would set up your eBay account and your PayPal account, and it also gives you step-by-step instructions on finding your supplier and how to research products. In the ebook, I mentioned that when you start out with your eBay account, they initially give you selling limits, and your limits would look something like 10 items per month, $1,000 per month. Obviously, these are low limits. It doesn't really give you the opportunity to make as much as you would need to make, or as much as you would want to make. And so what I do is I will tell you how to increase those limits if you choose to have an eBay account of your own. But also in the ebook that I created, I also mentioned that you can purchase an eBay account with a PayPal attached from a place called Askin, where they have sellers, people who sell accounts that are that have higher limits. Some of them have limits of 1,000 items and 25,000 a month, which would obviously give you enough room to make more money on eBay. Also, in the ebook, we speak about how to research products. I found that when researching products, it's always best to filter the categories. When you filter your categories, you can find out which products are selling based off of the buy it now prices and not the auctions. So I show you how to do that. I show you a technique which I found to be very helpful and has made me a lot of money. And it just shows you how to find the products that are in highest demand. Once you know what products are in highest demand, it's easy for you to go onto these websites such as AliExpress, Alibaba, and DHgate, and find the suppliers that you need to provide the product that's in demand. Another thing I do in my ebook is I mention some of the risk with selling online and with PayPal. And of course, if you would like the ebook, if you haven't received it already, then of course, please just reach out and we'll be happy to send that to you. So you'll know where to start with it. But I give a pretty detailed, I guess, a detailed lesson on eBay and how to get started. eBay can be very lucrative. Like I said, I've earned thousands selling on eBay. It's probably between all the platforms, I would say eBay has the highest potential for me.
Even greater than Amazon?
At times, yes. Amazon is a slower start than eBay. Amazon is a slower start mainly because with Amazon, you're fighting for the spotlight. You're fighting for it on eBay as well. But I guess it's easier to get to the top on eBay than it is on Amazon. On Amazon, you spend a lot of money on pay-per-click, and you spend a lot of money on advertising because you need to get to the top. With eBay, you don't have to do as much. It's more so about your pricing. The lower your price, the higher they put you. So that's kind of the algorithm they go by. But it's definitely easier to make money on eBay than it is on Amazon. Amazon is an amazing platform, and it's like when you're once your I guess once your product has been on there for a while and you've gained the reviews, then it's easier to sell on Amazon. But with eBay, you don't need any reviews to sell. You could sell with no reviews, and you could have a product listed and you have absolutely no reviews as a seller, and you would get immediate attention and sales the same day as you open your account. With Amazon, it doesn't work like that. It's definitely a lot more work. I sell on. Go ahead, Pascal. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and I'm going to say that I have found that to be true as well. I mean, I don't obviously do anything like what you know or near, but I've sold on Amazon before. It's a very big, huge, clunky platform to me, and it's very confusing. But eBay, on the other hand, a lot less confusing. And I've mentioned in the past, my wife sells vintage clothing on there on eBay, and it's really nothing to it. We post stuff, and people, we've posted some stuff, and people start making offers, relatively quick if they like it, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I mean, thank you for that, because it confirms what what I believe anyway, or what I think is happening. So
yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, you're fine. eBay is good as like a starting platform. You start on eBay, and then you drift out, and then you start exploring Groupon, and then you start exploring Amazon. But eBay is good to start with. eBay will kind of, I guess, get you into the flow of selling, and then when you're ready, then you'll be ready for Amazon. But you do definitely need time on eBay to just learn the basics and I guess customer service and like all of that. You'll learn the basics of that on eBay. Then you expand to Amazon. Amazon is a completely different monster. So, but it's definitely very lucrative, and Amazon is obviously high potential and has made many people millionaires. But it is a lot of work. Amazon is work, but it's, of course, since I've been selling on Amazon, for several years now. I've definitely made a lot of money, and it's something that I've learned to navigate myself, and I've also learned different techniques to get myself to the front page and to get myself to the top in selling. Amazon's potential is higher. It's just eBay will get you selling faster.
And so Groupon, I know you're selling Groupon. I'm sorry.
Yes.
No, Groupon. Groupon what now?
Yeah, so Groupon is a little different from both platforms. Groupon is probably one of the, it's a really confusing platform to sell on, and I'll explain why. Groupon is new. They just started allowing private sellers in 2017, I believe it was 16 or 17. And but the amazing thing about Groupon is that they handle all of your promotions for you. They send out emails to customers. Not only do they do that, but they put your product on the front page. There's even ways that you can work with them, and they'll promote your product for you at no additional cost. So they don't look for additional money for promoting your product. I think Groupon is also a great platform to sell on. And I remember when I first started selling on Groupon, I had decided that I was only going to put, I believe, 3,000 into Groupon. I had put 3,000 into it, and I had bought, a mass amount of products from China, because, 3,000 goes a long way. And I had turned that 3,000 into 17,000 within about 3 or 4 months. And mind you, even though it did take a few months, I did turn the 3,000 initially into 7,000, and that 7,000, of course, went up and up and up until it hit about 17,000. I peaked at 29,000. So Groupon is a very good platform to sell on. Their customer service isn't as good. Like I said, they're a new platform, so they're still trying to figure things out. But it does have high potential also. Now, when you're selling on all three platforms together, you're basically unstoppable. There's just so much money to be made. I found that in, I think, 2017, my income between two platforms, and this was just eBay and Groupon, was somewhere around 209,000 in profit. And that was a really great year for me. And I learned a lot. And, that my friends all wanted to learn how to sell. And I taught a few, and now they're making money. But these platforms, they're there for the taking. This money is there for the taking. It's just so much easier than everyone thinks it is. You just need to learn techniques, strategies, and learn how to research.
So talk about the researching, if you would, please. Give us, how do you research?
I research in several different ways. Like I said, I go through categories, I filter, and then I go based off how many sales each seller has made. So eBay will tell you how many sales a person has made. I do use eBay a lot for research. I use it for research for selling on Amazon. I use it for research for selling on eBay also, because, demand is demand. If they're demanding it, and if there's a high demand for it on eBay, there's a high demand for it on Groupon, and there's a high demand for it on Amazon also. So that's what I found to be true. So I will generally go to eBay, filter through the categories, and find products, and then I will see which ones have the highest sales, and it will tell you in red how many have been sold. And then I would click on it, and I would see how many were sold in a day or in 2 days. And that is what I will use to determine whether the product is a good product that I would like to invest into. Another technique that I use is that I speak to the suppliers directly. I get on DHgate, and I get on Alibaba, and I get on AliExpress, and I say to the suppliers, which are your top selling products? And that is gold, because they'll tell you which products they have that are being purchased the most from outside countries, and then you know that there's a demand for it. If buyers are demanding it from the US or the UK, they're demanding it because they're selling it, which means that there's a high demand. So I test those products out, research those products, and that's probably one of my top ways of finding products. But it's all about research, like I said. You try to find a product. Another thing is product. Once you find a product, you can brand it, put your own name on it, and sell it on Amazon. Selling on Amazon is really easy because not easy, sorry, I guess branding on Amazon is really easy because people go based off of reviews. So if you list the product on Amazon and the product is not a name brand, you're still likely to sell it as long as your reviews are good. So I teach you how to get your first set of reviews on the product so that you can start selling. But Amazon, I find, is easier to sell products that are off-brand.
I'm sorry. Okay, so on Amazon it's easier to sell off-brand, or eBay it's easier to sell off-brand?
Amazon is easier to sell off-brand. eBay is more of a brand-based place to sell. People that go to eBay are looking for something specific. You don't really find people going on eBay just searching for, a non-branded eyeshadow. Do you know what I mean? When people go on eBay, they're looking for a brand name product that's at a discounted price. When people go on Amazon, they're looking for just a product that works. And that's what I found to be the truth.
I get it. And I can see that because eBay seems to have a lot more, which Amazon does not, use stuff and, miscellaneous, and Amazon's more strict on what they allow, preferred, unless it's books or something. Yeah, okay. Well, so, and so now as far as, I get you on on the research. You mentioned some, different how you research with Amazon, and also going back to the actual vendors on DHgate, AliExpress, Alibaba, China.com, or whatever. But in addition to that, what have you found to be your greatest that thing that's really made the difference for you? What do you think?
That's really made the difference for me. I think that what's really made the difference for me is, first of all, when you find a product, you have a product, your product is doing well. You never just count on that product. I've fallen a couple of times when I have found a product, the product has started selling well. And then I say to myself, okay, I'm comfortable, this product is selling. And then all of a sudden, the sales slow down or the sales stop. I found that the way that I've kept my income consistent is by always consistently uploading new products, by always consistently finding new products. You can never let your guards down and say, okay, I'm fine now. You always have to have something new in the working. So I found that what's really helped me to succeed is always being prepared and always finding new products. So I say to myself, okay, every month I want to find at least 5 new products that are doing well. If I let my guards down and if I decide that I'm just going to sit on it and I'm going to relax, then that's when I start to fall, because your sales will always slow down eventually. And so, it's good to be prepared. You always have to be prepared. You always have to have something in the works, something coming soon. And that is one strategy that I can say has actually really helped me, because I've fallen several times from getting really comfortable. The fidget spinners were out a few years ago, and that was a fad. So that fad didn't last very long. But I made thousands selling them, because when it came, I started selling them. I was, excited. But when it came, I realized that it was something that was going to go just as quickly as it came. So I had to make sure I had something in the works. So I made sure I had another product. So I had the invisible bras. They were a fad also. Started selling those, made thousands on that, but no one's buying those anymore either. But you always have to have something in the works. There's always going to be something that is trending in the moment, and you have to make sure you catch that wave of sales. You have to make sure you catch that wave plus the wave that's coming on this side and the wave that's coming on that side. You have to have everything ready. So that's definitely what I found that has kept me afloat lately.
So what I'm getting is you just overall you like to just ride the wave of things. Then so it's not like, oh, here's my product, and it's going to be I don't know, Inca Binka Bottle Ink, and that's the product. It's like, oh shit, this is popular right now, and I'm going to get on board.
Yeah, this is what it is. I find that riding the waves, when the wave comes, it comes and it hits. It's heavy and it's a lot of money. You always want to be a part of that wave. You are going to have your products that are more consistent. You're going to have those products that are going to sell year round, and they're going to sell consistently. They may not sell thousands every month, but they're going to sell consistently and bring you your consistent couple of thousand a month. But then those wave products, those products that are trending in the moment, those are the products you always want to focus on as well. You can have your products that are your year-round products that are never going to go out of style, like waist trainers or products like that. You can have those products, and they're gonna consistently bring you something every month. But are they going to bring you that large amount of cash, that flow that you really want? They're not always going to bring you that. Absolutely not. Unless you have your own website and maybe you've created a brand and a name for yourself, then yes. But if not, then there's always going to be someone that's going to undercut you in price, or someone that's going to do something a little bit different or a little bit better than you. And so you have to make sure that you're prepared for that. Doesn't mean that you won't sell anymore. It just means that your sales slow down. So you have multiple products that are consistent selling products, year-round products, and you build it to the point where each product is not, it's not pulling in, tens of thousands a month, but it's pulling in maybe 1 to 2 thousand per month, and you have several of those, so that you make sure you always have that money, that base amount to fall on. But you also get your wave products, because when you have those those trending products are going to bring you in mass amounts of money in short periods of time, and they're going to run for about 2 to 3 months, and then they're done, and you're going to always be prepared. Selling online, it's not as much work as working the average 9 to 5, but it is definitely work. You always have to follow the trend.
So from a business person's perspective, right? So you, as a business person, what are you feeling about what's going on with the whole online thing? Is it something that you're just like, okay, I need to shift, or I need to get deeper into it?
Oh, selling online is my thing. I'll do it forever. I've been doing it for 13 years now, and I tell you now, I make so much money, and I make so much more than my friends, and I've achieved so much more than the people around me from selling online. It is a business, and a business requires work, and work is finding new products. Work is finding is appealing to the crowds. And that's just what it involves. It's never, of course you could get it to the point where, you can rest and you can relax. You do that by creating your own brand, and by creating your own website, and you do that by creating your own thing, something that you do that by creating a product that is, I guess, different from the rest and unique in unique in quality. And I guess by getting people that are committed to your product, that's what you do. But when you're starting to sell online, the best thing to do in order to make the type of income that you want to make, before you start building a brand and, building rapport, you sell what is trending, and you have your products on the side that are consistent selling products to keep you afloat no matter what. And that's just what I've found to work, and it's worked for me, and I've taught several people, and I've taught family members, and they do very well also.
Okay, so if you were to give out, you've given out like a shitload of really good content. So, but what I guess I'm trying to get to is, I don't know, and for lack of a better way of saying it, like the meat of it all, because you've touched on how to do, your research, how to, where to go, how to do it. You've touched on, going after product, but all of that is like, okay, so that's like really hella good content. But what I'm trying to think is like, so what, for somebody like, for the average person, me included, that let's say has never done this, what is it that I need to do to get started? Because that's going to be the big kick for most people. Because as we know, a lot of us buy a lot of information. I buy a shitload of information, but the thing is like I buy it, it sits on the shelf, or the shelf of my computer, and it's that getting started thing that's always the hardest thing. So in this, and I can tell people how to get started, obviously in other arenas, right? It's to take that first step. Just even if it's that first step is a quarter of a step, take it. Move forward, do something. So, but specifically from your mind, what should the thing be that somebody does to start? If they want to do this and they want to succeed, are the first few things that they should do to help them, A, start, and B, keep their flow going?
Okay, so in the beginning, well, when you start out, of course, you want to set up your accounts. Once your accounts are set up, you want to start immediately researching. Research is so important when it comes to selling online. If you don't research the products, if you don't research what's trending, or if you don't research what's selling, then you have nothing. You have to research. So in order to succeed in this, the first thing you want to do is start your research. And I teach different techniques of research, and some of it I teach in my private classes, different techniques of researching and how you can find out which products are the good products and which products are just a waste of time. But the first thing you want to do is you want to start researching. You want to get on DHgate, you want to get on AliExpress, and you want to get on Alibaba, and you want to start speaking to suppliers. There's a platform called WhatsApp. A lot of Chinese suppliers will speak to you on WhatsApp or on WeChat, and you want to speak with them about which products are trending, and you want to start researching. That's the very first thing you want to do. You want to research. Another thing is that for those of you who are interested in private label and creating your own product to sell on, say, Amazon, you want to start finding out which products, of course, are trending and which products would be a long-term product, such as creams and things that people would keep coming back for. So what you would need to do, I guess, is just decide which route you want to take. Do you want to come up with a product that's going to sell long term? Do you just want to create a business where you're making constant income, large amounts of income, and it's just multiple different products? So you decide which route you want to go. Of course, you can do both at the same time, but that's how you become successful, is by doing multiple things at the same time, never just sticking with one thing.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to add? We have about 12 minutes left in the call. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Well, in my private course, what I teach you exactly what to say to the suppliers, how to deal with the suppliers, how to make sure that you get the products from them that you wanted without being cheated, how to handle them and pay them in portions so that you don't get scammed or lose money. So I teach you different techniques to help you deal with them, and I also teach you techniques to finding the products that are selling, techniques that I haven't revealed in my ebook, and I also tell you about product optimization, how to catch the attention of buyers, what buyers are looking for, and how to target consumers, where to advertise, and how to get your sales coming in as quickly as possible in high amounts as possible.
So let me ask you a question. Do you believe in drop shipping, or you like to have the product shipped to you first?
I tried drop shipping years ago, and actually drop shipping, I had a problem with drop shipping. I did drop shipping on Groupon for a period of time, and I found that it didn't work for me, because when you're drop shipping, you're putting your products in the hands of someone else, which means that you're depending on someone else to take care of your business. Your customers order something, they want it there in a timely manner. If you're drop shipping, depending on who you're drop shipping from, they may not ship it out when you expect them to. And that, of course, causes you problems. So I found that drop shipping is not a thing that I want to focus on personally. It's nothing that I would want to try again because of my experiences with it. It actually had my account suspended for a while because I was depending on my suppliers to drop ship the product to my customers, and they were not doing it, in a timely manner. So it's definitely not something I would recommend. Also, drop shipping does cut into your profit. So they're
Oh,
never
okay.
gonna. It's never gonna be the product plus shipping. It's gonna be the product plus shipping plus an extra fee for them. So it's always best to have the products with you and ship them, or to work with FBA, Amazon FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon, and let them ship it for you. I find that to be the better route to go.
Okay. So, because I was, a lot of people talk about drop shipping. I'm online doing one thing or another, and there's a lot of people that are selling programs or just talking about drop shipping. As a matter of fact, we have a website. We don't do anything with it. Like a lot of my websites, anyways. But because I'm one man, hard to do everything, But we have a website. It's a really nice website. It's called Envious Treats, and that whole website is designed behind drop shipping. And there's a software connected to it where when somebody makes a purchase, the software will actually go and buy out of my account, but buy the product directly from somebody on AliExpress and then ship it to them. But once again, I don't do anything with that website. It's a good-looking website, awesome software on it, but yeah. So okay, well that's good. Listen, for anybody who's interested, Kay, offers coaching. Anybody who wants to contact her, they can do so at what number?
Oh, at 404-333-7109. Again, I'll repeat that, 404-333-7109.
Okay. So if anybody's interested, her rate is $250 an hour. It's, as a rule of thumb, just like with me, you look for a 2-hour minimum, but maybe she'll cut you a deal. You need to talk with her about that. Instead of having to do 2 hours, maybe she'll, give you an hour for $250 instead of having to come up with $500. But that's something you'll have to negotiate with her. But, I believe from my little experience in doing and helping my wife with Vintage 1229, which is her eBay store, and selling, used ass clothes that people are buying, not in droves, right? Because we don't spend a lot of time on that business, because I don't spend a lot of time on that business. But people buy this stuff. I mean, and we're not even really pushing it. So there's definitely a market online, and it definitely, in my opinion, is a way to create a business, and that's what we're about, right? We're Power Monday Masterminds is literally about improving us in every aspect. And one of the best ways to improve us, other than our mental and physical, is our financial, right? Because with your finances right, dude, I'm just telling you, it is so much better to have some money coming in than not. And it's so much better to have more money coming in than what your bills are. I mean, I've been broke as shit. I've been okay, and I've had situations or times when I have plenty of money, and my existence is always better when I have a plenty of money. It allows me, to do what I think is charitable, right? So, over the weekend, I was able to be charitable. I can't even talk. Charitable in 3 different scenarios. And I was able to do it, and it made me feel really, really, really good inside to be able to, put those monies out in a charitable fashion, and not have to make it a big thing, not have to make it like, damn, okay, well, I gave them that money. How am I going to have to figure stuff out? And I'm not telling you all that I'm balling out of control or anything like that. I'm out here in the game trying to make stuff happen daily, right? Because, I'm not sitting on $1 million. I'm not sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I do generate capital, and I'm very thankful that I'm able to generate what I would consider to be a fair to decent living, which allows me to do things like this Power Monday Mastermind, right? To pay to set these calls up every month and to help build other people. It by helping me build you in some fashion or form, it makes me a better human being. It makes me a stronger human being. It makes me a more knowledgeable human being. And so, anyways, let me get off that tangent. So, listen, anybody who's interested, just give her a call. Number is 404-333-7109. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Damn, that's the wrong number.
I thought to mute my phone. I was like, I hope they can't hear me breathing.
I
didn't want to be on the phone breathing creepily.
I'm going off of memory here, and I don't want to be, giving out the wrong number to folks or whatnot, So, but listen, y'all, I mean, we're all in this together, and I say that over and over and over. We're literally all in this together, and it is imperative for us to do business with each other, to help each other, to learn and glean from each other. And, within this call, there are so many people that I know of that are, powerful business forces in their own right, that come on this call. And it's important for you all, because this is not about Pascal, as I say every week. This is about us, right? So it's important, just like, Carrie came on the call and she shared, her story, and also gave up, valuable information. I want you all to feel free to come on the call and share, because Power Monday Mastermind is just that. It's a mastermind, right? And a mastermind is not about Pascal and me constantly giving out, what I believe to be my words of wisdom. It's about all of us coming together and sharing and growing and developing, okay? So, if you all need to catch up with me, everybody already knows or should know my number. It's 951-515-4728. As the same as Carrie, I charge $250 an hour for my coaching. We have a $5,000 program, which is about business and personal development. It's really, personal and entrepreneurial development, right? And within that program, we also work with you to build a portfolio between $30,000 and $300,000, in financing for your business through the means of going after business lines of credit cards, and business lines of credit in general. So, call me, questions, whatever, but in this particular instance, I also, for those of you who are not sure your direction, what you want to do, I believe personally the online thing is the future. I think it's right here, right now. I'm sorry?
I said absolutely. I know we're running over, but I just wanted to let everyone know that if I can do it, you can do it too. I work for less than 2 hours a day, and I make between 17 and sometimes higher, 17,000 a month and higher. And I can teach you how to, and it's definitely a lucrative business.
And there you go. So once again, for those of you who don't have a business direction, I personally, something already in mind, I personally think that this is the lick for you. I personally think that doing this type of business and having someone not just give you some course and slap you on the back and say, there you go, here's this course, read this shit, and or watch these videos and all this other stuff, which has its merit, has its place, but someone who's going to hold your hand and talk to you and walk you through the process, it's unbeatable. There's nothing like that personal touch. So give her a call, 404-333-7109. So 404 and then 333-7109, and she'll be more than happy to work with you and talk with you. Thank you guys for coming on the call. As always, I'm very humbled by the amount of people that come on these calls, and thank you. And any last words before we get off the phone?
Thank you for having me, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me. Thank you for having me. It was my first time speaking to a group, so I hope I was clear. And thank you for having me, and thank you for hearing my story.
All right. I tell you, I think you're brilliant as shit. So,
Thank you.
We'll talk soon.
I hope to speak with you all soon.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
That was very enlightening.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. You did an awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.